everybody.
You had Malcolm Smith and Reuben Foster going up against the threes today. Is that just for them to get different looks?
Just getting reps. You may end up with different rotations here and there, but it's just to give them different looks.
Robert, how's Tyvis Powell come along as a left cornerback?
He's doing a nice job. Much improved from a year ago. He's in tremendous shape, and he's competing his butt off to make the 53-man roster.
How is his game? I guess you had that size that you guys look for in a cornerback. What else does he offer?
He's got great strength. He's got the length, obviously the size. He's got good football IQ. So he's tough. So he's got enough speed. You know, he's got plenty of speed to be able to stay on top and defend goal balls and all that stuff. So I like where he's at, and again, he's in a battle every day.
Can you talk a little bit about DJ Reed and how he did today in K1's house?
DJ, talked about him a couple days ago. He's coming along well. He fights his tail off. He's got great mindset, great mentality. He's fighting. We're asking him a lot for a rookie to learn free safety and nickel, and he's doing a good job with it. He's one of the guys, and there's a lot of guys that I could speak of that we could all speak of for this, but he's taken this opportunity and he's absolutely running with it. So excited about where he is, but I'm actually excited to see him play because that's where everything's gonna kind of come to fruition, hopefully.
Did he have to be at a certain point, free safety wise, before you would give him nickel as well, or is that just kind of 50-50?
He was getting some nickel reps in OTAs, but it was more of a 50-50. So he's been asked to do a lot, and he's a smart kid, and again he's been running with it.
Yesterday, George Kittle was saying that there was a play in OTAs that Kyle spent 45 minutes breaking it down. I remember you saying the other day too that Kyle's very detailed and demands a lot of you guys as coaches. Can you give us some insight into how he does that, how he puts that on your plate?
You know, the best way I could explain it with Kyle is that, you know, a lot of times coaches were trained to get through clips. You know, just show them as much as you can, show them as much as possible so they're getting visual reps. Kyle's philosophy is to take one play and there's so many different coaching points. All 22 guys on the football field at once can get coaching points, whether you're the backside corner, keeping leverage to the defense, the quarterback carrying out your play fake, O lineman, D lineman, and your footwork. So every single, and he starts from the right side of the screen, goes all the way to left to right, wherever the play is. So he does a great job really taking one play and showing how much coaching is involved in one single play. And I don't want to say necessarily taking his time, but he's mastered the art of being able to go fast and see every single detail from all the way across the board.
Is that then the expectation of you guys as coaches?
Is the expectation to have that same detail.
So how much of an adjustment is that for you then?
Well, for most coaches, it's not. If you're detailed in your approach and you love the game of football, you love every bit of tape that you can see, and to slow it down and to make sure you dissect every part. We always do that. It's how you approach it with the player and what you're trying to get the player to do, because the reality is you're trying to get the player to perform at their fastest level come game day. And so taking some bits and pieces from his style has been a benefit for everybody.
One more on DJ Reed. Is it common for a guy to have a skill set that allows him to play nickel and free safety at a high level, or what is it about him that makes him so transferable at those positions?
It's not I don't want to say it's uncommon, but what's great about DJ, again, it goes back to his mindset. He's relentless on the football field. There's no plays off. He's always thinking. He's always learning. Doesn't make the same mistake twice. And he's got a lot of stuff to learn. There's a lot of nuances that he can learn just from getting experience. But again, that goes back to our system and how do you get guys who are as fast and as violent and as athletic as DJ Reed is to play at the same level as a guy who's been in the league for 6-7 years. And so he's doing the same things over and over and over again, and there's only so many ways that he can be attacked. So he's learning a lot of different things throughout this camp and OTAs.
Is K1's injury a high ankle sprain or not?
From my understanding, it's low.
Low.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman's injury coming along?
It's coming along good. Sherm has great conviction that he'll be back sooner than later, and I've always stood by it. When Sherm says something, it's going to happen. So he feels pretty good about being back within the next week and a half, or whatever it is. So it's not anything major, and Sherm, I don't know how many reps he needs at this point in his career, but Sherm knows how to be prepared for the season.
Coach, Sheldon Day has been showing signs of being an every down player, consistently pushing the pocket, making strides on first, second, third down situations. My question to you is, what have you seen from his game so far in camp from last year as opposed to this year?
So we're lucky. I was with Jacksonville when we drafted him, so we know what to expect. The great thing about Sheldon is he brings it every single day. He plays with tremendous leverage, technique, hand placement, and all that. And there's nothing flashy about his game, but he has deceiving power and slipperiness that he can win on blocks. So there's stuff that he'll even tell you he's got to improve on. But regardless, we like where he is, and he was showing the same stuff. So it's kind of a testament to Jacksonville's D-line that they had enough players to be able to let a guy like him go. So Sheldon's a good football player. He's never been really overlooked. He was just an unfortunate part of a numbers game with Jacksonville, and we were lucky to get him.
Is he a true defensive tackle, or does he have some position versatility as well?
We have him playing 3 and nose, just kind of switching in and out of there, nose and nickel situations and all that. So he does have some flexibility in there for the rotation, and really all of them got to have some type of flexibility, because when you get up to game day and there's only 7 or 8 guys dressing, they have to be able to play 2 spots.
How's Ruben moving around? It looked like he was a little bit slow out there today.
He's got, he's fighting some soreness, some little nicks and bruises. The fact that he's out there is, he's toughing out whatever it is he's got going. So if he looks slow, I'm gonna let him know that it was called out. So you might see a much faster Ruben tomorrow.
Does the fact that he's going to be suspended for the first 2 games, does that have any impact on what you do with him in these preseason games, play him more?
As of now, we're proceeding as if he's part of our week 1 roster, and as we get closer, we'll address it.
What about Jimmy? Does he have a chance, Jimmy Ward, does he have a chance to play in Thursday's game?
We're meeting as a staff on that tonight, so that you may be able to get an answer tomorrow.
Buckner's one of the best players in the league, but he only had 3 sacks last year. Yesterday in one-on-ones, he took a couple of reps at the end. How are you planning to unleash him this year, get the most out of him?
You know, he's a special talent. I'll back up the 3 sacks with the fact that he was in the quarterback's face, probably the second most of all defensive tackles. So he gets consistent pressure on the backfield. So he is. Challenge for us is how to get Buck one-on-ones as many times as possible, and testing him out there at that end spot to see what he looks like. I mean, he's unbelievable. He is a special talent, and so it's on us to make sure that we put him in position however we need to. Now, his best is when he's inside rushing the passer, but as a change-up, it could happen for sure.
You brought up versatility, some other defensive linemen. You guys have been playing around with Solomon Thomas, moving around a little bit. Just found some success today at the 3-tech. Can you talk about what you've seen from him so far, specifically at that location?
Saleh's getting better. He is. When you watch his one-on-ones and pass rush, it's much improved. He's winning consistently. In team drills, what you guys might be seeing, it's the same. We're doing the same things with him. He's on the edge and rundowns. He's inside and pass downs. So what you see when he is 3 technique, it might be 2nd and 15, and we feel like we need to get after the quarterback a little bit. You might see a smaller group out there to get faster. So he's the plan with Solomon hasn't really changed. What you are seeing is his improvement, and he's got to continue to improve. He's got so much more to learn as a second-year player. So, and he's been just like the rest of the D-line. They're all taking little incremental steps in the right direction, and they've got to continue to get better.
At one point, you had 6 defensive backs on the field. Is that you trying to get creative in what you can do with Jimmy Ward?
I guess you could say that. There's you got traditional dime packages, so he's one of the better football players. The challenge for Jimmy is to get on the football field, and when he is on the football field, he is one of the better players. And so we're always always going to prepare as if they're there, and until they're not. And so for Jimmy, getting on the football field, yeah, that all goes part of the whole best 11 thought process.
Where has Solomon Thomas made his biggest stride since last season?
Pass rush. He's got a plan. Last year he would, he'd get gobbled up. He'd run through the middle of people, and then the play would be over. Right now he's learning edges, and for me, just watching him, it's the second move when he's lost on his first move is where he's actually improved. It's where all of them have made a great jump. Where a year ago it was first move and that was it, and it turned into a bull rush, running down the middle of people. And right now they're continuing to work those edges. Even when they lose on that first move, they're still working the edge and trying to work a second move, and that's where they're coming free. And so it's coming along good. Excited to see what it looks like in game situation where they don't have the familiarity of our offense. So.
Do you credit Coach Kiffin for that, or Solomon for?
All of them. That's all of them. It's Skanina, it's Kiff, it's the entire structure of what we're trying to get done. Goes back to what we talked about. It's the elimination of gray area, making everything black and white, and showing them the exact picture that needs to be shown and exactly what it's supposed to look like. So collectively, over this off season, it's been a collective effort to make sure that our wording is correct, that we're all on the same page in how we communicate with them, and that everyone's coaching the exact same things and no different than the rest of the scheme. So it's a credit to the players buying in. It's a credit to Kiff and Z and the way they've been working together. So it's been good so far.
As far as the helmet lowering rule, do you think that has the potential to significantly change how the game is played?
We'll see. Maybe it's ignorance, stubbornness. I don't know for me, but we feel like we've been teaching this style of tackling. I've been exposed to it for the last 8 years. People in the rugby world have tackled without helmets for years, and we've been teaching that style of tackling for I'm going on, I believe, 8 years now, and our players are going on year 2. So we feel so good about all the drills that we run, the techniques that we teach, the tape that we have to show them exactly what it looks like. That in a way we've been preparing for this moment, and now that it's here, I don't think it should change us. Now the rest of the league needs to catch up, but we feel good about it. So we'll see when it actually starts getting flagged and how it shows up. But like I said, maybe I'm just being naive, but I feel good about where we're at.
Unique situation with Skonina and Chris Kiffin kind of being dual defensive line coaches. I mean, it's unique. Can you talk about how, what does it mean?
Z is still the lead voice. He's still, you always have a 1 and 2, but the reality is we're grown men, and grown men need to work together to achieve one goal. That's players, that's coaches, that's everybody. And the one thing that we talk about on defense, whether you're a player or a coach, check your ego at the door and get ready to play team ball. So for them to work together is an expectation, but it is hard. Sometimes people get territorial, but Z and Kiff do a great job working together, communicating, but again, we're grown men, so if it was any other way, we'd have a problem.
Do their backgrounds and expertise complement each other in a way? Ziganina was a run-stuffing player, and
it does. Yeah. You hope that they're both learning from each other, and Z still knows how to coach pass rush. He's a fantastic defensive line coach. He wouldn't be the defensive line coach if he wasn't. But like I mentioned earlier, I mean, there were a lot of ideas floating around last year, and the reality is there's got to be one idea, and that one idea needs to be have great conviction. That's where all the studying went this offseason. So excited about the way those two are working, and excited about the way the players have responded to both of them, and excited about where they're going. So again, the games are going to show up, so we'll see.
Robert, as a defensive guy, can you explain the difficulties in matching up with Kyle's offense in terms of the way he utilizes tight ends and the versatility that those guys have within that scheme?
It's miserable. Every play is an issue. Every player's got an option. I mean, every player's got their set of skills that can expose you defensively. So it's a problem. So I'm glad he's on our team.
Is it a problem because, I mean, he's talked about it, there's sort of an answer for everything?
He's got an answer for everything. Now, we always joke around, because he'll be like, well, what if we did this? I said, well, then I'll do that. And Joe Staley was just talking about it. He laughs at our banter during walkthrough because Kyle is he's always got the pen last. He's the head coach, so, but he's there. It's not one time, 2 times is an accident, 3 times becomes consistent. Their offense has consistently been one of the best offenses in football wherever he's been. No matter what his personnel is, he's always found a way to get those guys in position to go make plays. Whether or not he had a running quarterback, a drop-back quarterback, an off-schedule quarterback, he's had many different varieties of quarterback and many different varieties of top 10 offense. So him and his staff, McDaniel, LaFleur, all of them, Scangrello, they're phenomenal in terms of teaching the scheme and getting players and all being on the same page, and the way they have dialogue and all that. It's a really cool thing to see, and it's something that if you on the defensive side of the ball can take from it and can mimic, you could be successful on defense too. So it's a cool little machine they got going on over there, and you guys see the results. So.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you, everybody.